Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, let's dive into why independent comics are not just a niche, but a game changer for the entire comic book industry. Independent comics are like the wild card in a deck of cards, unpredictable, daring, and brimming with fresh ideas. These creators aren't bound by the conventional rules of the mainstream. They're free to explore unconventional stories, unique art styles, and bold themes that push the boundaries of what comics can be. This fearless creativity is more than just exciting, it's essential. It keeps the entire medium dynamic and evolving. Mainstream comics often play it safe, sticking to the established formulas and characters, but indie comics, they're the ones taking risks, experimenting and redefining genres. They challenge the status quo and inspire mainstream publishers to think outside the box. So, why does this matter to you? Because the innovations in independent comics ripple through the entire industry. They spare new trends or spark new trends, introduce groundbreaking ideas, and ultimately enrich the comic book world. When indie creators thrive, the entire medium benefits. It's a win for everyone who loves comics and wants to see them grow in exciting and unexpected ways. So thank you for joining us today. Let's keep supporting independent creators and celebrate the ways they're pushing the boundaries of comic books. Until next time, keep reading and stay curious. This is For Comics Sake, Monday, the 19th of August, 2024. My name is J.Crager. I am your host. This is episode 20 of For Comics Sake, and I would like to introduce my fantastic co-host who's been here for all 20 episodes, 19, but we count him as, being there in faith for that one that he missed. And here he is, William Perdomo.
Good evening. And yes, I did miss that one because I was frozen in place by an evil harpy Medusa who would not let me escape. I didn't bring my shield like in Clash of the Titans to reflect it back at her.
That's correct. That's correct. You need to call your local dungeon master to cast you one. So,
and I'll say this: what he said in his benediction, but just give me all your money, and and I promise, as the Ronald Reagan of independent comics, it will trickle down eventually. So,
yeah,
I promise.
That's exactly how that worked. So today we have a twofer. It's two guys that actually draw better than I do ever. I just kind of fumble through this, guys. I kind of feel like I put 25% into comics. I don't get to sit down and do Mona Lisas, but these guys are constantly pushing out some of the dopest shit. And the first person we're going to introduce is Chad Townsend. Here he is.
Get out of town with that.
And without further ado, we're also going to introduce Matthew Weldon. Here's our twofer.
Yeah, that was a boatload of generous dialogue there.
It's a little thick.
Oh, shut up, Matt. You know you're good.
Matt's better than all of us.
That's a filthy lie. Goodness. I will tell you though, I'm extra fatigued tonight, but that jam intro of yours is an instant perk.
Yeah. Oh, the benedictions. Yeah, I try weekly to do benedictions that are, pro, independent comics, pro comics, as a whole. Okay. Yeah, there's creators you may not like. Sure, you don't have to buy their work. That's fine. But good is good. And sometimes people buy good stuff. So if you work hard, you get to live your dream. You get to do comics. And it's exciting. I believe the big C, when it happened a couple years ago, allowed the world to slow down just for a little bit for us comic book artists to catch up. So, and that's why. What?
I'm sorry. Excuse me. I thought you were finished. I apologize.
That's okay. So, anyways, it allowed comic book artists to actually kind of really get out there and crowdfund and do things, and we're all super stoked about that. But I also want the independent industry to keep thriving. So yeah, let's do awesome shit, man. Let's
Yeah, we're
show.
trailblazing around here.
Should we say hi to everybody before we get started?
Sure. Yeah,
well, first off,
sure.
Look who's here. It was our good friend from last week, Mr. PTP, Patrick Thomas Parnell, was first. Thank you. Appreciate it, buddy.
Our pal.
You're dope.
He is buddy. Pretty. This would be too much if we had him in here. It would be way too much. And Mr. Tokume, welcome, sir. And you need to contact Mr. Chad Townsend to get your Black Phantom sent out to you because he needs your information.
Yeah, I hear you're moving.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Our fellow meatbag, Mr. Marco. What up, sir?
Hey, buddy.
Our good friend, Death Metal Hero Luke. What up, my friend? Thank you. And Meromi. What up, sir? He put a diphthong in his name. Let's see who else we got. And that's it for now. Now we can. Shall we do the Wheel of Pain, or what do you guys want to do?
Sorry. Tonight, as much as I want to draw more stuff to give away, I still need to get out more stuff to more people.
Okay.
And I don't want to keep digging the hole. So for myself, because it just kind of sucks to dig a hole for yourself. So I'm going to ink Chaba and Death tonight. But if these two fine gentlemen want to draw anything on the wheel, that would be cool. And if you could give it away to somebody, that'd be even cooler.
Yeah, I still got to
did that one go to somebody?
Yeah, I got the information for this gentleman, and I'm gonna send it out.
You're awesome.
With your thing, Will. I got
Can
and
we see
whatever
it? Is it finished?
Whatever goes out tonight. Oh, you mean this thing right here?
Look at that, guys. Holy crap, look at that. That is his meathead piece. This is a world premiere. Look at that. Oh my lord, look at that.
Sorry if it's not coming through that good. I haven't scanned it yet.
That's it. I quit.
Yeah, look at that. That is our good friend Joe, the titular character, not the titular character, but the designation of our titular character. The meathead fighting his the demon that haunts the men of his family. So this is going on in his mind. But man,
so
Weldon,
good.
Holy moly, Weldon.
I was trying to do. I thought about cross-hatching these, and I still might, but I wanted to, because I was trying to really light it up with that. Just put some. I have delusions of grandeur of like being or getting better at my lighting and spotting blacks and stuff like that.
I think it pops or like it is. So
yeah.
What I like about this one is that he drew Joe looking like not as deformed, because this must be early in his career in Vietnam. Because
it's good.
Maybe I should have. I can wreck him a little bit more.
Because by the 1980s, Joe is jacked up. And
his arms are probably. I wasn't 100% sure if his whole body was kind of, or if it was just mainly his.
No, I'm gonna go with the Night of the Living Dead. They're all messed up. Joe's all messed up.
Yeah, he was in a fire that burnt most of his body. So
okay, then I'll mangle his arm a little bit too.
Yeah, Joe is a maze of pain.
I remember telling Will the story about it. Not about his character, but I remember telling him a story about a guy who my dad introduced me to, who had been in Vietnam and had been covered in napalm. And of course he was on fire, and he took his shirt off and showed me. He's burned on 90% of his body from his neck down. And the parachute straps, like from his what he was wearing, his backpack or whatever it was, the actual metal is scarred into each side of his like arms because he had a backpack on.
What?
So it literally seared these buckles into his flesh. Yeah, he looked like Freddy Krueger, man. It was fucking brutal. And my parents got mad because I got some fireworks and I was a little pyro and wanted to play with fireworks, and I was really safe with them. I didn't burn anything down. But they found out about it, so that was their way of punishing me by like saying, "Come talk to this guy, you firebug." Like, this
Oh
is what
yeah.
fire
Yeah.
does to you. Yeah, it was really kind of fucking weird. So it was the punishment not fitting the crime. But whatever. Sometimes parents overachieve. But I remember telling Will that story, and then I think that was when, well, Will had decided he was going to be scarred, but he was definitely in a fire.
Definitely. And by the
Yeah.
way, Matt,
I don't know if
Luke
he
says,
packs grenades on his hip or not, but I threw one on there.
yeah.
That's
Luke
fine.
says, if you've got delusions of grandeur, Matt, I must be straight up mental. F my life. Pitches all art supplies across the room.
Oh, I always wondered what FML meant.
Fuck my life.
Matt
Yeah.
doesn't have art supplies. He's just got a ballpoint pen and some paper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
really
all he
kind of.
does.
I'm really kind of. Oh my gosh, I'm so sad too. Actually, there's a funny story about this one because one of these pens, I blew a ball out of one of the points
That sounds bad.
while yeah, I dropped a ball out of one of these points of this pen. So it was scratching into the paper, but actually it got me this really cool like foliage effect I was kind of excited about. So I ended up using it. Even it was kind
Which
of
is really
dumping
cool
ink.
on his cloak. It's very beautiful the way you did that.
Happy accident.
Yeah, I was
It
trying
is.
to exactly. It was dumping ink in an intermittent manner, and so I kind of just I hate wasting pens. But the saddest thing about these .38s is it takes forever to get through them, and I always wreck the ends of them before I can finish dumping one. But anyways, yeah, here's
By the
here's
way,
an empty one too. I went to town on this one. This one's completely empty.
we're sorry to hear that. Moromi said he saw a lot of burn casualties in Afghanistan. That must have been rough. I'm sorry to hear that, Moromi. Or Meromi, excuse me. Now he's got a diphthong in the name. It's but that's got to be awful. And one thing about this story about Meathead is that with the essential. I know it sounds silly, but the essential theme of it is trauma, and every character in it is kind of bound to the story by some sort of trauma that is interconnected. Basically, childhood trauma is one of the main themes of the story. Right. So take that for what you will. I'm going to go back to here, and thank you so much for that, Matt. That is gorgeous. I am gratified that you did that for us. Thank you.
No, I can't believe you guys haven't having me back. And on the anniversary 20th episode.
Yeah. And Billy's going to be Billy Basco. The guy who did Black Flag for us is going to be coloring that. By the way.
Oh, sweet.
So
yeah, just throw it in the back. Just throw it in some back matter somewhere. I don't want to like. It deserves like maybe a couple of back pages and that.
No, it's going to be in the supplemental book that everybody's going to get in the campaign. Well, then you're not hiding from anyone.
That's right.
Shall we choose? All right, gentlemen, are you ready to choose from the Wheel of Coom?
Wheel of Coom. Coom it
All
up.
right, let's do it.
Coom everywhere.
Bass Reeves. This is a character I'm not familiar with.
Bass Reeves?
Yeah, who is that?
He is a famous black sheriff in the South. After the Civil War.
Isn't there a movie coming out with him in it?
There's already been
Gordon?
a movie and a TV series.
What?
Are you drawing this character, Crager?
All right, let me Google.
He was a very famous public figure.
Yeah, was he Texas or was he somewhere else?
He did live in Texas for a period.
Texas, maybe Oklahoma. I don't know.
Are you drawing tonight this character, Craig, or are you going to do Jawbone?
Fuck, man. How many things am I going to owe you now, Gordon? 3 things?
You know what? He shows up every time.
He does.
And if the show, God willing, ever takes off and there's 100 people in the chat, you know what? He deserves to have won those 3
Okay. I love Gordon.
for being here for 20 episodes.
There's a great Bass Reeves movie that came out last year called Corsicana, and it stars Isaiah Washington.
Oh, I'm looking at the Google right now. Yeah, I like that guy.
He also Bass
All right.
Reeves
There we
made
go.
an appearance in a Netflix Western movie a couple years ago, and I'm drawing a blank on the name.
Well, Gordon, make sure to present yourself by the end of the show so you can win or get this additional piece that you've won. Also, Mr. Townsend, do we get to see you draw tonight?
Here. Let me
Pretty please, with sugar on
share
top.
my screen in here. Let's see. Present.
Good Lord, is he going to do it?
I might
Please.
I might do this. Where is it? Hold on.
Luke, Chad is going to draw. Live draw. Can you believe it?
I believe that's it. That's my screen.
So we're all doing Bass Reeves, huh?
Oh boy.
Man, that's a gosh dang majestic mustache.
So how do I
It
add
is.
this
It
to
does.
our?
It's gorgeous. All right, let me get some. Don't share my whole screen right now. Come on.
Hey, Crager, do you know how to make it like part of our little windows here?
I gotta look up some reference.
Oh, no. I don't know how to make it small.
Because you're doing it as a share, so
yeah, I mean it shares as a big thing.
hold on.
No. That's
Look
not
at
how
that.
I do. That's how beautiful I am. I gotta look up Bass Reeves. Yeah, fuck around with it, Will.
I'm trying to. Maybe Luke can help. Hey, Luke, do you know how to make a present window part of our stage as opposed to the dominant thing, the dominant window?
Probably not. There's probably no way to do it.
All right, let's have a visual.
All right,
Wow,
I gotta do this mustache some justice.
I am still full metal jacket here.
Or we could just give you the stage because I want to see you draw really badly.
All right.
Hold on.
Chad drawing on screen. That's what Luke says. Chad drawing on screen. Wow. Residents of Hell have reported that Lake of Fire has frozen over. Indeed. I've been asking Chad to live draw for like 3 months.
Are you kidding? All right. Let's see what I got here.
You deserve to be the star.
Give me a break. This is embarrassing now.
You're further along than I am.
Right. So, Master Weldon, are you feeling good about this?
I gotta do that. I'm nervous about the hat, but I feel good about the everything else.
I'm gonna totally do the like Wikipedia version of him, like the only picture that he isn't in a hat.
I might do it.
Have you switched to your draw angle, Crager?
I can right now. So
just
sorry,
because he doesn't have like a normal cowboy hat. It's like a straight.
Yeah, I'm improvising,
which is probably better.
You're right. I should do the round rim. All right, let me get back out.
Okay, so can you make your screen the draw screen, Crager, so we can present Chad's?
I did. I made my draw screen. Is it not on your end? Can you not see what I'm drawing?
Like where we make your feed the draw screen as opposed to you presenting.
I'm not understanding what you're saying.
Where we don't see you, we see your board. You know.
Oh yeah. I don't know if I don't know if my thing does do that. Let me figure that out.
Yeah, it's like this is why Jason and I use OBS to show our drawing tables, Photoshop screens.
You
I
know
guess
what?
it's better for that.
Let's just watch him draw. I don't
Yeah, 'cause we've
particularly
never seen him do it.
want to fuck around. So
Yeah, you want this fully documented.
I was trying to make this easy on me, and you all ain't making it easy on me. And now I'm having to
Oh,
figure
darn it.
this
Hold on a
fucking
second.
shit out.
That stash looks freaking awesome
The
already.
stash is awesome.
That wide stash. Dang it, I'm
You
probably gonna get ridiculous with the stash.
He looks
Right.
like such a
Wait,
happy guy. He looks
You
happy.
see what Weldon's doing. Okay, he's already getting started in typical Weldon fashion. You know, throwing that fast on.
Bam.
Oh, dang it, your hat looks good. Sean.
I'm having a hard time capturing his ethnicity here.
Mm-mm.
Capturing his ethnicity. I don't want to go anywhere with that.
It's
I'm
really
trying to-
funny.
Politically correct here, you know.
He looks like a guy I went to high school with, minus the mustache.
Dang it. Yeah. This is gonna be tricky.
Maybe I need to round his face out more. I don't know.
By
I
the
just
way,
don't-
Weldon, I saw that they dropped your Final Fight book, so you're finished.
Well, the first issue is finished. It's a 4 issues
Oh,
miniseries.
okay.
So I'm working on issue 3 right now.
'Cause I remember you here last time you weren't feeling very well and that you kind of pushed it off a little bit, finishing it up, and I thought you'd finally finish. I'm like, oh, must be a relief off Weldon's shoulders to be done with that project.
Oh, I remember what we were talking about last night. Yeah, there was a big double page spread. Oh, I remember what we were talking about because I was kind of agonizing over a underground fight scene where there was just thugs everywhere. You know, an arena full of people watching
Right.
a fight. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
oh crap, what
Yeah,
do
it
I
was a
do?
beautiful double page spread. You drew every single person in the audience like an insane person.
Yeah, I scribbled on a couple of faces, and then I that's where I messed up because I couldn't not draw everyone else after that because everybody would look all off. But I got through it, and yeah, I remember I was kind of stressed out about it, but yeah.
What up, Hyper Potato? Welcome. Thank you for showing up and telling everybody to like and subscribe. So wait a minute, how'd you get that gig, Weldon? How'd you hook up with Capcom?
Oh, it's a friend of mine named Tim Lim. He introduced me to one of the head guys at one of the best decisions I ever did. If anybody's an artist out there and they're looking to get like a little bit of high profile work, it's going to cost you money, but you can go pay Capcom and IDW to do Ninja Turtle covers or Street Fighter covers or something like that. So if you're really interested, just you can go ask your local comic shop or something to say, hey, do you want an incentive cover? And it's thousands of dollars if you want to get buy into a bunch of covers, but a lot of artists do it. And that way, you get to say you worked on like a Ninja Turtles or a Street Fighter or any other IDW. They well, not any IDW probably. They usually open it up to a few. So I did a couple of Ninja Turtle covers and then a couple of little Street Fighter covers for their summer swimsuit issue. And yeah, after we split the cost with a couple of people, and after a while, after 2 or 3 covers, I just kept in touch with some of the guys and follow them on Twitter. And after a while, I was like pulling my hair out because working for Capcom was like was one of the hardest things I ever had to do because they want their characters done a certain way, and so I had to make so many corrections. And so I kept my cool all those times where they were asking for corrections, and it paid off. I They finally started asking me if I was free because someone dropped out or something like that. And then after a couple of years, they're like, yeah, and we'll pay you X amount for filling in for us. And then it was just out of nowhere. I was just messing around. They would post things on Twitter saying, hey, we're looking for artists for this or that. And you got to stay in front of them as much as you can. And so after a while, they started contacting me for work, and I wasn't paying them to do stuff anymore. It didn't work the same way for Ninja Turtles. Though. I wish they'd hit me up. I'd probably do Ninja Turtles.
That's fascinating. I didn't know that you could buy in like that. So that's how you did the IDW Ninja Turtles cover. You bought into that one.
I've done at least 3 or 4 Ninja Turtle covers, but I paid for all those.
But that got you this gig.
How many
What was
copies?
that, Chad? Sorry.
How many copies did you have to invest in?
That's a really good question. That's the funniest part is they give you options to buy like 1,000 covers or 500 or 2,000 or something like that. And obviously, the more you get, the
cheaper it is.
Yeah, and so you want to buy the 2,000 options, and it ends up being, and honestly, it's not a bad deal because I remember it being. At one point, it was like $2.50 to $3 a book, and I'm like, that's freaking pretty awesome. And then you can sell them for however much you want to sell them for. And the coolest thing about doing those covers was I thought I'd try it out, and we were paying enough money for me to try it out, but I did a wraparound cover for all the Ninja Turtle covers, and they didn't charge us extra for me to take their back advertising space. So that was like one of the best. So I got to display more of my art, on an actual licensed property and stuff like that. So even on I thought they might charge us for me taking up their back page ad cover space, but they didn't every time, and so it was. Anyways, weird story if you're. Yeah, but I recommend it. It was one of the best things I ever did.
I was thinking
this was for Gordon, right? This was Gordon's what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, Gordon, good brother.
And there he is, right there, giving us the live
So,
long and prosper.
You get a third drawing, Gordon. So I'm gonna like shut down having to fucking make suggestions till I get everything out after this. I'm just shutting.
Well, check out the one that Weldon is drawing. Check it out. There's your Bass Reeves.
Yeah, I'll send you this one.
Yeah, so make sure you. Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. For one,
Matt,
I
gotta send out a bunch of stuff.
Make sure you hit up Matt and give him your information so you can get this Bass Reeves at this wonderful Bass Reeves he's drawing. And not only that, for anybody who's new in the chat, we have Chad Townsend drawing live for the very first time. He hasn't done that
ever.
And speaking of which, let's go. Hyper Potato says in this tense political season, remember that when comics are outlawed, only outlaws will have comics.
Huh.
And then Tokume says the punks of society live on the edge punk, the ones who refuse to conform and promote the content of the outlawed, content outlawed by the ruling power elite, and that is referring to his property, Edge Punk, that we're all working on, Crager and I, and many other talented people. So look out for that magazine that should be out in the next 2 months, which will feature content by all of us.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a fantastic interactive online magazine that has outlined the world of Edge Punk, and it'll have stories by moi and art by Crager and a supporting graphic novel called Latex that he will be drawing for Mr. Tokume, Mr. Seth.
Yes.
Death Metal Hero adds, fuck the corpos. I agree. And he also adds, good information to know. Thank you for sharing, Matt. That whole story about the IDW buy-in and all those things.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like if you're serious, the best thing you can do is see if you can go find a local comic shop. They get the emails, or they can request the emails to let them know. Next time they have like an incentive cover that they want to um, uh, kind of put out there, and see if creators want to get in on it. I don't know if there's like a little bit of an approval process for artists, but I don't think it's that.
Dynamite does it too.
Oh yeah, Dynamite too. You're right.
I couldn't tell you. I want to say Marvel does it, but it's a lot harder to get in on that.
That's a good question. I think you can. It's a lot more expensive too. And I thought that for a while there, you had to, if you were a shop, you had to pick from some artists. But I think they actually open it up to artists now. But I think you're right. I think it is a lot harder. I've never done that one.
Like I can't. Like some artists are very tight-lipped about some things. Like
You're right.
I'm not gonna name names, but there's somebody I know that I was like, oh, well, how did you get in on that deal? Like you're selling covers that you drew for Marvel, and they won't tell me. They're like, oh, I'm like, all right, thanks for sharing. I take it you want to be the only one that does it.
Yeah.
Corner the market.
Yeah,
Now you now you know.
That happens. That's especially true. Having worked for Disney several times, I still cannot breach finding who to talk to at the Disney galleries that are like in the parks and stuff to like do pieces for. All the artists that do the work for them are so tight-lipped, like they hold on to it. They just clutch to that info. They don't want anybody to know like who to talk to or how to go about it. So
Yeah.
I believe you 100% on that.
Not cool.
it's very disappointing.
I don't want to work for them anyways.
Man, you get
Is
in
it true?
like. Well, go ahead.
Huh.
Sorry, Chad. I was going to ask because I've known a lot of people who work for Disney. Is it true that their employees colorfully refer to the company as Mousewits?
No way.
No, I've never once heard that. That's interesting.
Like a lot of the underlings, like in the crap departments of Disney, I've known a few people. They called it Mousewits.
Yeah, I've never heard that. That's funny though. Mauschwitz.
Mauschwitz. Oh, no, I'd never heard that. No. That's
funny.
weird. That's
But they
weird.
they were working in like customer service and things like that. They weren't like doing any designs for anything.
Oh yeah, that's hell for sure.
Look at that! Look at that! What Weldon's doing.
Don't look just yet.
Okay, I'll minimize you. We're just gonna scrutinize Chad.
Right.
This show is all about watching Chad's screen because he's been hiding for so long.
Yeah, that's it. I'm drawing Sam Elliott now as Bass Reeves.
Nice.
I'm race swapping.
How dare you?
Don't you know how important Bass Reeves is?
I actually have Isaiah Washington follows me on Twitter.
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's
Bass.
wacky.
Gordon says I could drop out of suggesting and just help promote. That's fine, Gordon. Like I said before you came in, I said that you've been here since the beginning of the show, almost every show. So I don't think we mind you winning so much. Because, like I said, for example, say for the sake of argument, the show does well one of these days, and we have 50, 100 people watching and a couple dozen suggestions. It would make me very happy to know that you've won a 2 or 3 or 4 because you were here from the beginning. So I think that's an ample reward for being such a great supporter and fan. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I appreciate you, man. I don't want to have to owe you a ton of stuff because it's not that I'm lazy, I just have a lot of shit going on, and
It's not that I'm lazy. I just don't care.
It's hard to get everything out at a reasonable hour when you're doing a weekly show like this. So, and it's just excuses at this point, so I don't want to have excuses anymore. I want to get my shit out to my friends.
Excuses are like anuses. Everyone has one.
Yeah, and they all fucking stink. So, so yeah, that's my main motivation is, I don't want to make anybody have to wait too long. I already fucking I never thought that I would ever get popular enough to have to like
owe people,
juggle stuff and owe people, and it's just so
and have a whiteboard and
for fuck's sakes, man. How I've never had to like sit there and put my life on a board just so I could like function. That's bizarre. I have never had to do that. Not that it doesn't help, and it's not really that bizarre, but I just feel like I'm not getting it out, and if I can't get it out, I'm not doing my job. And then what's the use of doing this show if I can't even follow through?
Oh man, I feel like I improved on the second one. First one was way too cartoony. The second one, I stepped it up a little.
Oh, yeah, man. There's a noticeable difference. I like them both though. I mean, cartoony and more realistic cartoony.
I think everybody understands, Crager, that when you're dealing with artists, you're dealing with hippie time, not writer, fascist. The trains run on time.
Yeah, that's true. There is fascist trains run on time. Funny.
He says, better a dry erase board than a wall of tacks and yarn. Indeed. He's not quite there yet.
No, not yet. So, but that sounds like fun.
But I have to ask, Weldon, are you drawing on the kitchen table? Like with the...
Yeah, no, you like my plaid option. I need to reapply actually. It's no, I got a really old board. You can get them at I don't know if you can tell. There's this wooden board. I think they sell them at Hobby Lobby even.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was like, are you just sitting in the kitchen? Is that what you're doing?
And no, I got freaking lazy. My art table's over there. And I used to have my camera set up over it, but it's so high, and I need to start standing up and drawing more because I've been sitting down and drawing, and it's been really bad for my physical health to just
back
everything. I sit down and because my computer's right here, and so I'm like, I can just mouse around over here and reference stuff and get more stuff done and listen to my headphones. Anyways, it's just my board's all jacked up, and so it had some cracks in it, and it's a real light, real soft wood, and so I put 2 layers of dining room sticker tape on it, and
I knew it. It's some kind of dining room product that
try and add some life to this board before I have to trash it.
He's like, that's economizing. That's a life of an artist right there.
Yeah.
He's close to starving, that he has to use kitchen appliances and accoutrement to service his art.
That's fair enough.
Hey, Edwin Papa, I haven't seen you in here. Welcome. Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it, buddy.
Erwin Papa.
Erwin. Oh, Edwin. I thought. Okay, Erwin. I missed
Erwin's the man. He's like a sculptor and an artist, and he does a local drink and draw in Long Beach. He's really, really fucking good. of a sculptor. He's really good of a penciler. He really loves Nirasawa and Takea, which are sculptors in Japan. If you don't know who that is,
Hmm.
And yeah, he's a really good guy. I've known him for a couple years.
Well, the just the kind of man we love populating our chat. Thank you.
Yeah, I like him popping in.
Fantastic.
He's a good guy.
Um,
He's a good guy.
Luke says, seriously, been thinking about constructing a sit-stand desk to help mitigate how much I sit down.
Yeah, you just need to buy a desk like mine that's on hydraulics. So I have a 5-foot, like huge desk in it, and it rotates in all directions, and it can go up high enough that I can put my shoulders on it and like stand up at it.
Dang.
I can literally stand up at my chair. I would move it. Watch. I just had a bunch of stuff on my desk move that was sculptures and things that
No.
obviously weren't tied down.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I moved it down. I wonder what all fell though. Let's see.
Oh, survey the damage.
Whoa! Look at that! Look at that! That best. We haven't seen your base Reeves yet. Like, well, let's have a look at it. Whoa! Look at that.
Wolverine. That's
Oh,
what fell.
dang.
A little Wolverine fell.
Is that a 3D printed Wolverine?
Yes, it is a 3D printed
Sweet.
Wolverine. Yeah, this company I know makes them, and this is probably the best one I've ever come across. So, yeah, it's a really good
That's
one.
cool looking.
Dang.
It's a good one. Yeah, I think I paid like $30 for it. It was cool
For the
though.
file?
No, they actually did it with their resin and printed it themselves and sent it to me already put together. And it has all the points of articulation, like the wrist turn, like the best part of it, like all the little wrist turn for everything, like on the claws.
Are you gonna paint him up?
No, I like him the way he is. I think he looks good.
I was
So,
gonna
but
try out.
he did take a digger right off my fucking desk, which is covered in, toys.
Can we see the Bass Reeves you're doing?
My Bass Reeves?
Yeah, let's look at him. Look at that. See here.
What?
I love Crager's portraits. He does amazing portraits.
Wow,
Look at that.
man. Get out of here.
God.
What?
Sweet merciful crap.
It's portraits are the one thing I'm good at. Like that's the one thing I can do all day long.
Oh, I saw you do a Stallone not too long ago. That was pretty freaking
Yep.
sweet.
Yeah, the Stallone was good. I like that one.
And Erwin Papa said thank you for all the for that rundown of his resume you did, Crager. And no problem, sir. Thank you for coming in.
He's the man. So I highly suggest him. I even think he had a comic book coming out or has come out already. So you should probably check that out too.
Yes, please.
And go ahead and post about it, Erwin, if you want. You can post and hear about it.
Yeah. We should be everyone should be dropping their links in here so everybody can see everybody's projects. Same thing with Luke, Death Metal Hero. He's drawing a book called Mercenary Guild, which you can actually see him and the writer of that project on topic lists every week. So giving you updates. He's hard at work. His first project.
It's going to be good.
And same thing with his partner, Jason Bascom, who is, I think, just about done shipping Frog G. They finished the supplemental book, which was done by Ink Spots, and they're moving on to Frog G 2. So those guys are producing, man.
I'm really I'm not shocked that Frog G did well enough to get a sequel. Boscom and Ink Spots, they really do really love comics, and it's cool to see them do stuff that's in their stuff they want to do. So I dig that.
Oh, heck yeah.
So that's what indie comics are about. So
Let's see. Tokame would like to know: do you have a UV resin printer, Crager?
I do.
I
Wait,
do
what does
too.
that? What does that mean? UV? Is that one where it dips in a little bath of goo? When you,
Yes.
Correct.
You're
Yeah,
welcome, Erwin.
it's a 3D resin printer. Yes.
And
It's
same
a
to
lot
you,
higher
Luke.
resolution.
Yeah, it has 4K resolution,
Yep.
so it's really high quality. I've had one for many years. I know how to use them. I have lots here. Like when I needed a jawbone death sculpture, you can go to me. When I need a jawbone death sculpture
That
to
is
use
cool,
as
man.
reference, what I
That is cool.
did
Look at
was sculpt it
Wow.
in ZBrush, and then I 3D printed the thing. It even has the little jawbone on the back. It has like the Leviathan warrior with smoke coming out of his eyes, and there's
Man,
fire up and around him, and
love
there's
it.
chains. And
that's
yeah,
outrageous.
yeah. And I use this as my reference to draw his face in perspective because I did the stupidest thing by adding those stupid jawbones to his face.
those are
I love
freaking
those
right.
things, man. Those
Those
things
are
are
some
cool.
righteous jawbones, though, man. Especially in the 3D.
I
That
mean,
sounds
they're
like
cool.
a band. The
They're
Righteous
cool.
Jawbones.
Righteous jawbones. It's cool and
And
stuff.
can we get one? Look, Luke wants one. I want one. Can we get one,
No,
Crager?
there is no getting any of these things. There. So first and foremost, when I designed it, I had kind of done it haphazardly and really hurried, and it should be like a solid poly group, and it's not. So it's made up of a bunch of different poly groups. So there's caverns inside this thing, even though it's printed solid. There's caverns inside of it, and you know, I I need it to be hollow completely, so I can put a hole in it, like this one, and empty it out completely of resin and stuff. And sometimes that can be problematic if you didn't like think beforehand when you were using ZBrush. And the reason I don't want to like I can't make molds of this thing. There's too many like little flamey like all these little things that come off of it, all these little flames
Oh,
coming off out
yeah.
of the smoke, or like all come off the body all
Good
as it
Lord.
wraps around him. And this is all printed in one piece.
It's actually my
And
favorite feature is the jawbones because it gives it such a cool profile and
and
silhouette.
there's a few fail points on it where it went to go do something and it kind of became like a little flap. Um, yeah, and then of course Adam was like, "Oh, dude, let's do production on this. Let's make them for Job and Death." And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Why?" And I said, "Well, first of all, it's ugly. Like it's small. If we were gonna 3D print them ourselves, like we need a bigger 3D printer. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
I have a fairly small one. That can do small things. Like I could print a 12-inch figure that was articulated, but I'd of course have to do it in parts, right? Um, but yes, I do have a 3D resin printer. Yes, I would like to upgrade to something that's much awesomer, more awesome.
Speaking of that, Gordon says he has a xenomorph that you did on his
Yeah,
desk.
yeah. I did a xenomorph that was done with filament. I think
Can
that
you
was
post that on Twitter, Gordon? I'd love to see that.
Is that the painted one, Gordon?
How did you acquire such an item?
The xenomorph?
Yeah, well, yeah. How did he get it from you? Like, is that something you offer or gave
Uh,
away at some later?
I think I gave it away as part of an auction. Like I sold it.
Ah,
That's probably what happened. And so in ZBrush, I was screwing around with ZBrush like the first time, and the first thing I did was a xenomorph, and it came out good. Like it came out really, really pretty. I wish I had one I could show you.
Yeah, that's why I was asking Gordon if he could
It-
put it on Twitter so we can all have a look at it.
It sounds familiar. Like I might have seen it on one of your old shows.
Maybe.
Maybe Mayor Romy's right here. He says I think it was at an auction, so maybe it was like a Red Valkyrie thing.
Yeah.
You sold it.
Yeah, I think that's possible. Yes.
And Luke adds, "I fucking love my Loki bus from Hammer. I do regret not getting one of those."
Yeah, I still am getting all those taken care of too to get those out. So some people haven't gotten all theirs.
And he also
And,
said it's so damn cool. I want one of those on my shelf. Yeah, I want that Jawbone too. But
You know,
again, it's too much of a pain in my ass.
someday. I mean, I even have a gorilla sculpture too that I did for Fraga.
Yeah, that one's cool. I actually like that it's like a
I
matte
remember
black,
seeing
even though
that.
that's what it came out as.
That I
Actually,
absolutely
do you wanna
remember seeing.
Do you want to show it?
I can get it.
Yeah,
I'll be right back.
Gordon confirms it was from a Red Valkyrie art auction. Let's see what. Are you done, Weldon?
I'm just thinking of. I just had another idea. I'm just thinking about. Chad did another one, so I'm thinking about doing another one.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if I had a better option.
Okay.
I always have to draw a
Here
piece
it
of
is.
crap sometimes before I.
Yep.
So this is the filament version of it. So where all the, it's really big, as you can see.
I love the
absolutely
base.
remember
The base
that,
is
yeah.
cool, man.
That's neat.
And then I did a painted version
Oh, nice.
that has the tubes on him, has a little black flag on the back.
I want to
Has-
say so many years ago, whenever I saw that on one of your old stream with you on it so long ago, was one of the inspirations for that little sketch that I showed you of the
Yeah,
monkey
that really
rides.
cool black flag you did.
Yeah, I
Really?
think I even was highly inspired by what I saw when I saw that years ago.
Well, I
Did you
really
ever finish that
appreciate.
one, Weldon?
No, I
I
don't
think
even know
it
what it
just
is.
remained a sketch, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I as I said, I'm an artist anyway, so I kind of want to. I'm less concerned with making money and more concerned with kind of being an artist. I enjoy art in all of its forms, and if I inspire somebody to do something or use my stuff as reference, by all fucking means, do it. Like, it doesn't bother me in any way, shape, or form, and in fact, I consider it a great honor.
It was huge. Because I don't even know why I did that years ago whenever I did it, but I mean I remember being highly inspired by that. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I want to try it because I didn't do it for any other reason other than to just do it because I saw that freaking little backwards hat on that 3D model that you just showed, and I was like, that is that's freaking awesome.
It was awesome because when we did it, like Fraga was very specific about the hat should sit a certain way and it should do this and it should. And I did the hat more than once, and it ended up coming out pretty good. Like I'm surprised it came out as good as it did. I really did a lot of looking into gorillas and gestural faces they make. And that really inspired me to give him that mug that he has going on.
His little puffed up mouth with a stogie.
Yeah. It's
so
like
freaking awesome.
It's like he's happy and pissed off all at once. And if a gorilla looked at me like this, like it means he's probably going to hurt you.
He's got malintent.
Yeah. So it's like he was gonna hurt you, man. That's how like angry the mug he has. But look, he's smiling on one side and he's mugging kind of on the other, like I'm gonna fuck you up. And look at how the hat sits like on his head. It sits exactly how it would sit on a real gorilla's head too. Like right under
resting on that freaking stout
lump.
silverback. Yeah,
Yeah, the lump on his head, just sitting on the lump on his head.
freaking
And yeah, it came out really nice. It's really pretty. So look at how distorted it gets the closer I get to the camera. It
You
gets
even
more
gave him like a
fisheye.
little bit of flair on his jacket.
Yeah, I put the little happy face sticker. So there's even in the very back, and you can't see it on this. So there's a hole in the back of it, right over here, right there. And you can't see it, but the number 23 is in there.
Oh, I'm sure Craig will love
gosh.
that.
I can see it now. I can barely see it. Yeah, I can see it.
It's right there.
Does Craig know it's in there?
Good Lord.
Yeah, I told him I put it on it.
He must
Really
have been all
putting-
giddy. That's like his favorite. That's his favorite number.
I told him I hid it on there for him. So yeah, I made it all special for him. Super special.
Let's see what Weldon is drawing here. What are you doing, Weldon? What are you sneaking?
I don't know. I had a couple ideas, but I'm just changing it up. I don't know what I'm doing honestly right now.
I really liked Weldon's Black Flag sketch because it kind of reminded me of like a Shiro Appleseed composition. You know, where
really?
it's like, yeah, because it had, I think, it was a bubble sitting on Gorilla's shoulder, but it was like a downward shot looking up, like where they're looking up, and it's almost like a fisheye kind of effect.
Oh, that might be it.
And you know how Shiro likes those kinds of compositions?
Oh, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah. I didn't think about that. I just remember I used to be huge into Masamune Shiro until I've been wondering I'm pretty sure this is the same guy. It's been a while since I grabbed one of his old Intron Depot books.
Yeah, and those are cool because they were the first kind of books you could find like that in the early days.
Yeah,
I have those, but I somehow lost my Appleseed trade paperbacks, and those things are expensive now.
Yeah, they don't
Really?
reprint them ever.
What?
Yeah, they're like $100 or more for one.
Wow.
Are you looking on eBay and stuff?
You said, well, that you used to be a fan. What was the other end of that?
Well, no, it's not that I used to be. Like I didn't see anything else out of him or any of those type of books, but turns out he's been very, very busy. And what I discovered was he went straight into just I don't even know how to word this. He just went balls to the wall into like porn comics.
Really?
Yeah.
Hardcore. Like
Okay.
insane. And I was like, oh my Lord. And
I remember in Ghost. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just remember he was talking about 3D. I think was doing the 3D stuff because he always had weird 3D stuff in his background.
Because you remember when the initial anime wave happened in America, like I'm talking post Robotech, like the big one when you had like Manga, the actual studio that was importing these things, and you were getting that initial wave. He was part of that Dark Horse importation. Remember when Dark Horse was doing all that like high end manga remastering for their lines?
Oh yeah,
remember?
Yeah.
And Ghost of the Shell was part of that initial wave, along with like Domu and Legend of Mother Sahara and all that stuff. And I remember he had to censor Ghost in the Shell. Remember, it had that really graphic sex scene on the boat. Remember, and they kept censoring it.
I think oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the boat.
It was like a lesbian, like cybernetic sex scene. It was really weird, and there was like one panel, and I remember there was a big thing going on. I remember seeing that going. Like, he was really into doing that. It doesn't surprise me now that he's doing straight up porn. And why? Is it like a financial thing, or he's just a weirdo?
I guess that's who he always was. He's just living his best life now.
I guess.
Hey, porn is a job too, man. So that's a job. Some of my best friends and closest friends when I first got married the first time were actual real 80s porn stars.
Wow.
Yeah, like famous 80s porn stars.
Like in
Uh,
the theaters back then, right? Like,
yeah. So I was friends with Brittany O'Connell.
Back when they shot it on film and it was like a production.
Oh yeah, exactly. And she came to my wedding and everything, and
oh,
they are they're normal people like everybody else. They just do sex for a job, and it's not that big of a fucking deal.
Our
I
friend
For
remember.
Gordon
something,
says
what?
Shiro's firing on all cylinders, a little squirt emoji. That's nice. Thank you, sir.
It's not
Hey,
quite normal like everybody else, but yeah.
it yeah. I mean, it's not Yes, you're right. It's not exactly like everyone else, but it is a normal job, and uh, or it can be a normal job if you can separate certain things. But by the time in their career when I had met him, she had already done hundreds of movies, and uh, she didn't really own a lot of them. They were all done through companies and stuff like that. So she was on the forefront of like, having her own website and doing all this stuff and getting suggestions and requests and all that stuff before like OnlyFans and stuff existed and
Oh, the
all that.
first commission action.
Yeah, she did a lot of that stuff back then, and that stuff was actually really interesting. Uh, and it was totally normal and made to be very normal. So at least they seemed very normal to me. So
Well,
uh,
Krager, this subject is getting questions or like statements rather. Luke says,
what?
"Have you seen the amount of money or dough people are willing to drop on drawn porn? It's a lush gig, from what I hear."
Uh huh.
Oh, I've got
And
offered like insane amounts of money to draw.
Yeah, I did a
really,
painting of I did a painting of Beast for a client, and
oh
he's
god,
naked and
good
he has a
lord,
towel and he's like in the locker room. And what's implied is that Nightcrawler's tail is a penis
Oh,
in the foreground. And I did a painting of that for a
so it's the
fan.
start of some sort of weird. What would you call that? What category of pornography would that be? It's like
Uh,
inter. Is it
this
gay, interdimensional, interspecial? I don't know. What do you call it?
it's all that. So yeah, it's very gay. Yes,
Bestiality, because he is a
he has a
beast.
fascination with Beast doing things to other X-Men,
Doing things. Good way
or
to put it.
to himself. Uh,
Hey,
and
man,
it's
they
a
got people got
specific
kinks.
it's a specific client. He pays through the nose, and if he likes it, he even kicks you a tip. And that's
I
cool.
bet.
So
I bet he does.
oh crap!
he's a really nice
Gotcha.
guy, man. So, anyways, I've had commissions from him before. So,
Well,
and
apparently Seth says, seriously, no joke, people, myself included, I will drop sick amounts of money on cartoon porn. So there you go. Well, then there's
Well,
your mortgage
I
right
could never
there.
bring myself to do it, but I've got what I'm saying is I got offered lots of money to do it.
nice.
I would
Yeah,
I would
that's
never do it.
before I drew comics the way I do now. I only worked in the adult comic industry. So, all my stuff was with Tim Vigil back in the day in Avatar. They were
Oh,
specifically an adult company. So, I was doing a lot of their adult book stuff.
Did
Um,
Tim Vigil have another name he drew under
Liberty?
when he did Grips?
Yeah, Liberty was his
Okay.
first name. Yeah.
oh my gosh! I know that old comic book.
Yep.
Are you
That's a
drawing
good
Chun
one.
Li? Well, then.
No, I'm doing Tank Girl. It started
Oh,
off as
cool.
Bass Reeves, and because I was gonna draw Bass Reeves laying down with his hat
With
over
it.
his face like he's taking a nap. You know what I'm saying?
I was kind of hoping we would do Tank Girl because if anybody can do Tank Girl, it's Krager. But I'm glad you're doing it.
Well, I don't know if it's gonna work out, but I'm gonna try something.
Well, I
I'm
finished
sticking
my
it out.
Bass Reeves.
I'm sticking it out.
See it?
Sure.
Hold on, let me get you.
This is
Now look
about
at
as
that.
That's freaking
So is
excellent.
Mr. Gordon going to get this one, this wonderful portrait.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll send this with the other two I owe him.
So so Weldon, does he get yours as well?
Yeah, I'll send mine out.
Yeah,
I'll send it out in a nice top loader.
Yeah, looks
Wow.
good. Gordon is Crager is my spirit animal. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
By the way, to
I'll
conclude
take it.
that discussion, our friend Tokumi says one client wanted Minnie Mouse with the body of Pamela Anderson and all Playboy spreads, all of them as Minnie Mouse, laughing my friggin' butt off. So yeah.
Yeah, man. So I worked exclusively, like I did so much adult work it was retarded. In fact, most of my stuff was shock and awe. Like it was all, if I could throw a vagina or a penis in there or have somebody get raped by somebody else, that's what we did. Well, I don't so much do that anymore, obviously. Like I realized at some point that the whole shock and awe of drawing blood and guts and everything else kind of doesn't appeal to me much anymore.
Yeah.
Yet
you're drawing. Look what you do.
Yeah, but I draw Jawbone Death, which is all blood and guts, right?
And light slimy stuff covered in like lube.
Right. And I don't particularly enjoy drawing stuff like that anymore because that's all I ever did.
Yeah.
I'm good at it because that's all I ever did. And when I draw books for myself, my books are when they're just mine, like if it's Hammer or something like that, they're more story driven than violence driven. They're more, I don't want to do blood and guts for blood and guts because everybody can do that. Like I want it to be if I do blood and guts, I want to step over that line and make you impactfully feel it. Like it's the fact that, we're so used to the idea that we're going to see blood and guts that it has no impact anymore. So,
yeah,
the whole idea of doing Jawbone Death, one of the reasons it's not really drawn realistically, like it's a little more cartoony, is because I wanted to juxtapose all the crazy violence we have going on with more of a cartoony type style to it, because it just contradicts what it is, right? And it works well for what it is, which is great. And I find some joy in that, and that's fantastic. But if I really had to sit around all day and just do one type of art, I would just paint like Ashley Wood all day long. That's what I would do.
Well, there's actually like a trio of comments about this stuff. Like you got Seth here saying violence and gore and porn is good, so long as it's part of the story, not the focal point of the story. It should happen as the story progresses. I mean, I'm not one for that sort of pornography. I don't really like exploring that stuff. I mean, violence is one thing, but I try to not be gratuitous about it. I'm not really into porn in any any medium, in any dimension. Put it that way. As I've gotten older, it's been harder for me to stomach intense violence. I just don't like cruelty to people. As I've gotten older, it's hard for me to really accept it when I'm watching it.
Right. No, I understand. I understand.
Yeah, it's weird. Like you even bring that up because there was a time where I and some mates never really missed out on a UFC, but like I just have even a hard time. Like as I'm over 40 now, like I just turned 44, and I'm just like, I can't even watch UFC anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I don't know. It's just weird like that. I don't know if that makes sense.
I understand. I mean that a boxing match is one thing because it's regulated and it's a sport and nobody's getting killed. Sometimes you get maimed. I'm talking about things like, for example, I can't watch that scene in Reservoir Dogs where he's torturing the cop. It's just too much for me. I don't like people suffering like that and being that cruel. You know what I mean? Or like any of the torture pornography that we had in the early 2000s.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm talking about, like Hostel and things like that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just
yeah.
don't like seeing human beings put in that position. It's weird.
I liked it for a long time, and then I didn't.
Yeah,
You know?
is exactly my and just until you don't for some.
Yeah, when I was younger, I could
Just
stomach it, and as
didn't.
I've gotten older, just I empathize too much with the people.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I did a lot of it for the shock and awe of it, and then when I realized, oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Put him back. Put him back, Will.
and what is this that Gordon Goodbrother's talking about? What do you guys think about this anti-sex scenes in movies meme going around?
I don't know.
I'm not anti-sex in movies. Like it just depends on the context it's in. Typically, uh, if I want to watch really like basis stuff, I'll just watch porn. It's that simple.
Are you in full screen for a reason, Krager? What are you doing?
No, I told you to fix it.
Oh, sorry. But I'll add to what you just said. I don't really think it's necessary because I mean, in normal films, it's not really what you're doing, right? You're telling a story, and if you need to have a love scene or a sex scene in the film, you don't really need to show it unless there's something happening during that. Like there's something like say there's like for example, I don't know what comes to mind, like oh God, Unlawful Entry with Kurt Russell and like why do I always forget names around this thing with Kurt Russell where he's making love to his wife and the cop that's stalking them shows up and is watching and shines a light on them. I mean it's a creepy scene because what man wants to make love to his wife and have someone barge in on them? Like especially a guy that's stalking your wife.
Russell. Dang it, I have to.
Or
the
sex,
huh?
The extreme sex scene in the movie Colors, where
that just came to mind because that's screwed up too. Because it's like you get shot while you're having an orgasm must be pretty awful.
It was pretty gnarly, man. So, yeah.
Well, we've actually got. Let's see. Then he says. Then Luke says, "Blood and guts and sex have to serve the story and be there for a reason." Yeah, correct, and I agree with that. But there's ways to do it tastefully too. Not in Meathead though. The violence is pretty gratuitous. I wouldn't say gratuitous. It's there because Meathead deals a lot with violence having an effect in terms of trauma.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So I didn't shy away from that. And Tokame says a good story, a good uncensored story should be like the following the life of characters, and as they have certain things happen, it should be shown, but not be the center point.
Sure.
Chad Bass is a menace, and can we comment on Chad's work as being fucking awesome tonight?
He's fucking amazing. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Amazing.
Luke says that cruelty to animals is something I can't do. People, man, but I enjoy horror movies, and that's funny. I used to be like that, Luke, but I'm not anymore. A cartoony violence is one thing because it's so stupid that your brain doesn't activate the empathy part.
Right.
I'm talking about serious suffering in a film.
Right. Is it wrong that in the second Hostel, that one chick who's hung upside down, like I find that really sexy that they tortured her that way and kept her up there for a long.
Bathory scene?
Yeah, I find that really sexy that they hung that chick up for like hours and did that to her, and she let them do it.
What movie?
The second Hostel.
Oh, Hostel, yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it.
That's the high tide of the genre.
Super, super sexy. The chick is not super good looking, but she got a hell of a lot better looking. The more she hung upside down and had to be uncomfortable in that.
What, when her like veins were bulging and her head was like twice?
No, the type of person that could do that for a scene or even like anything, like. It's just that chick probably has bigger balls than all of us. And number two is like She probably did that for like a full 8 hours, where she was hung upside down and they had to shoot this whole disgusting scene, and she was tortured through it, and it was brutal. So it takes a very special person to be able to be hung up like that and do that, and I find
And,
that pretty sexy.
and by the way, I agree with Saw fucking annoying series, but the first one I think is pretty excellent. The whole shtick where Jigsaw, and no, sorry, spoilers, is on the floor the entire time, I thought was a pretty novel mechanic in that story, that the killer was on the floor the entire time.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And
That
he gets up
was
at the end. I thought that was pretty damn cool, actually.
that was pretty cool. So
Um,
the fact that they never went over and like touched him or did anything,
nope.
like
And
I
we have
have,
a new person in the chat, Benno Cole. How did you guys meet? This room is very interesting, and thank you for showing up, sir. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
who?
And I guess he's asking, or he or she is asking, how did you guys meet? This room is very interesting.
Who?
Um,
Well, Will stalked me, and that's how I met Will. And then me and Will became friends, and then Will, over time, has introduced me to a bunch of people, and Chad and Matt are part of that. And yeah, I saw him online, but Will's the one who kind of made that happen. So if that's how you're wondering how we met, that's how we all met.
and I met Matt because I stalked him too, and desperately wanted him to work on Black Flag because I'm a massive fan of his work, and thankfully we became somewhat friends. So I'm grateful for that. And Chad and I had a mutual trauma.
Yeah.
A jihadi exploded all over us, and we,
Uh,
became friends because of that.
Like you do. Like you
Hubba,
do.
hubba, hubba. Boom.
Do you guys remember this? Pirates, the NC-17 movie was fantastic, like full on porn when the story was called for it, but it also had 50% of the action of an actual pirate movie. Remember that big old porn production they made in the early aughts? It was called Pirates.
I
Remember?
do.
It was like this
I
huge
do.
budget.
I heard about it. That the chick, the blonde who was in it, just recently overdosed and died.
What?
Oh,
So
Oh, happy times.
yeah. So now I just ruined that wank for you.
Yep.
So,
I remember
I'm
the World of Warcraft porn.
ew.
do you ever feel bad if you go to like watch porn and you know that the actress is dead?
What? No.
They're all dead. No, wait.
No, they're not all fucking dead. Are you
I'm
kidding?
sorry, Jonathan Pineda. I don't know who you are, but he says he or she or he has come in. He says, "I need your help," and then he says, "Hello, I need your help, please." And then he says, "Really help?" And then he says, "I need advice." And then he says, "No one cares about their fans." And he says, "Any more?" So, welcome to the chat. I've never seen you, sir, but what is your question?
Oh yeah. Question
Yeah.
time.
You seem to
Yeah.
want to be. You seem to want to ask a question. So go ahead
We
and ask
counsel. We counsel all
Be heard.
Yeah.
comers.
it. So I'll be watching for your question.
So let's
Yeah,
cancel.
Jesse. Is it with the Jesse Jane? That's what he's asking. I think it was Jesse Jane was her name.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I've never seen you, Jonathan. I could have sworn I've. But what was your question? Please ask.
Please
all
help.
right.
How are we to help?
Yes.
What are we?
Go ahead and ask, sir.
Are you going to say Baba Booey?
The beginning of Showdown in Little. This is Luke talking now. The beginning of Showdown in Little Tokyo, where Shang Tsung lops off the chick's head with a katana. Shang Tsung. That sucks that everybody calls him Shang Tsung. Every movie he's in. And yes, Meathead's violence will be visible. It will be indeed. I guess Jonathan ain't going to be asking a question. He's
He'll
So this is interesting. So I work at a deli, and I got my boss pregnant. Mind you, this is my fourth person I got pregnant. What do I do? Crager, would you like to answer that?
Oh my God! Really?
All right, I
fourth?
think I've reached a finishing point on this.
And it is awesome.
So if this is real and it's the fourth person, it's the fourth kid. So what you should do: one, if you live in a state where if you don't love this person and so on and so forth, there's things that you can do. Number two, uh, like you can go talk to doctors about that stuff. So number three, if it's cool and you just want to have a kid with this person, that's fine. But if it's been your fourth time having a child, I think you're done, and you should immediately go get a vasectomy.
Yeah, that was
Okay,
what I was thinking.
or I'm gonna teach you something. Condoms go on your penis, so you can use those. They prevent pregnancy.
You don't chew them like in Coneheads?
Yeah, like you could, I suppose, but they just kind of taste funny.
Gordon says you should stop playing hide the salami at work.
They're gonna.
And I think there's sanitary concerns too.
A court-ordered snipping. Jesus.
Yep.
That almost. That doesn't
yes,
sound
and
right.
and Seth has got like a whole clan of kids where he is, and he should know.
Yeah. It's okay to have a vasectomy. You're still a man. So you can still go pump loads into whomever and not worry ever about having a kid ever again. So go do that. And condoms are your friend.
Is she in like a kiddie pool, Weldon?
She is in a big military helmet.
That is cool. I like that.
I'm gonna fill it. I'm gonna put a freaking rocket launcher, and she's just swimming in it with weapons, and maybe I'll have it.
Now Tokame is gonna call Dad, and he's gonna send you a bucket of money to finish that for him.
Maybe I'll draw some stuff on the ground. Some more weapons. Can't really remember. There's a bullet stuck in it.
He says, should I become an artist like you all inspired me to make my art better? Do you think I can support these kids with my dream? No, you're screwed.
No.
Not currently, no.
I would
screwed.
Run away.
Yeah. You should make it your hobby and go get a real job.
That's the best advice.
A typical artist can't afford 4 kids.
I did this until while I was working slinging chemicals at a chemical plant.
That's right.
Until just at a random time.
Didn't you hear the beginning of the show? Weldon had to buy in, and that's how good he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I slept in cars in Hollywood until I started getting work. So
it's a really hard job to have, being an artist. But what if I'm the next best squaw? You never know. Yeah. Okay. So you could know. Do you know how to draw anatomy? Like, can you draw a face and make it look like the person you're drawing? And then maybe you could be Basquiat. Like, did you know that like Picasso by the age of like 7 could draw realism and draw portraits of people? Like, he was an exceptional fucking artist. Okay. Yep. A person who knew from a very young age how to achieve all these goals and actually become great. By the time he was in his teens, he could paint like fucking Rembrandt.
He learned all the rules before he broke them.
So he shattered them.
So if you're gonna say maybe I'm the next Basquiat, that's kind of like an insult in a way, because are you the next Basquiat? And if you were, you wouldn't really be talking about it or worrying about it, because you'd be that person. So my suggestion to you: get a really nice job, get health insurance, do it in your spare time, collect comics in your spare time, be friends with people. And if at some point your art really intrigues somebody, they'll hire you. And you will be able to have a comic job for a limited time usually. They're usually short gigs, right? Comic book jobs don't go forever. They go for a couple issues and you're done. And then you move on to your next job. It means you're essentially fucking fucked after that. So you got to... You got to set up stuff over time to have more jobs down the line. And if you get popular enough, people will actually start reaching out to you to do stuff. Like,
It's a Yeah, that's true. It is also, but it is a constant job hunt. Like you
yes,
gotta, you have to be willing to like network and meet
yep,
people and yeah,
kiss people's asses, say your pleases, say your thank yous. Comic books aren't here to make you rich, dude. I'll tell you that very few people in the comic book industry are rich. Uh, we're able to make it go, but we're definitely not rich. So,
well, I did really well in animation for many years now, you
yeah,
know, but it took a lot of going and meeting people and get my portfolio in front of people over and over and over again.
yeah.
Now I've reached a point where I do get phone calls from producers to work on shows and stuff, but sometimes I have to let them know I'm not working, you know.
Right. Yeah, I
And
get
by the way,
storyboard gigs
Seth, are
that
you
make
seeing this Tank Girl?
it's a good one. I get storyboard gigs that make tons of money. Uh and that's primarily when I get my storyboard gigs how I make a living. It's hard to do it when you're doing internal pages for a comic at like $200 a pop.
I mean,
Yeah.
Frege, dude, didn't get consistent work until he got into music videos in his early 30s. And remember, he got his first job at 18 working for Rob Liefeld at Extreme. And,
Yeah.
his 20s were essentially this like constant job hunt, digging in couches until he got
Yep.
into the music video industry.
And Basquiat is Basquiat, just like David Cho is David Cho, right? Like nobody could ever fucking take David Cho down a notch because he made all of his money essentially when he decided to take shares of Facebook when he painted the Facebook offices, and it made him. He got lucky when it all got split up, and he was a multimillionaire overnight. And now he can just focus on being an artist and doing other things. He considers himself primarily a fucking portrait artist, but his portraits are more about a time and a place, and they're usually very abstract and a feeling. Um, and that's his gig. But if you want to work in comic books, you're not going to be Basquiat. Okay, Basquiat's a whole nother creature, and so's fucking David Cho. Although David Cho loves comic books and he's done comic books. Uh,
Uh,
so, and he's a
he's
very
issuing,
accomplished graffiti writer.
by the way, he's also issuing a challenge. Let's make a challenge. I can draw you in my style. It'll be the best thing you've seen. Also, Picasso's blue period was tough, and
What?
that is his challenge to you.
So you're gonna what? Draw what in any challenge? Let's see. Where's it say?
It says, let's make a challenge. I can draw you in my style, and it'll be the best thing you've seen. Also, Picasso's blue period was tough.
So I'm a really tough fucking critic. Okay. Um, you see me scribble here on this show, but I refuse to like think that my comic book work is what defines me as an artist. So, I mean, what are we talking about here? What are you going to actually draw that is going to blow me so out of the water that, you know, so you don't want to accept the challenge? What are you talking
Oh,
about? What challenge? The challenge is drawing
I don't.
me, drawing you.
define the
Ooh, look at this
challenge.
Black Phantom page.
What?
Sweet.
That is a Black Phantom page.
And by the way,
Is that a Black Phantom 2 page?
Yeah, I'm not calling it Black Phantom
Ben
2, but
Yes.
Ben O'Coast says, so it takes grit, fundamentals, networking, and a lot of work. I like it. Sub. How often do you fellas do this gathering? Y'all dropping gems. We do this every Monday at 8 Pacific Standard Time. If you subscribe to J.Crager, who is the owner of the channel, he has a Twitter, which is Crager Jason, or Von Durabo, excuse me. on X, and we have a suggestion thread every Monday where you can win art if your character is chosen during our random drawing. So watch for that, my friend. If you um, uh, what do you call it? Follow Jason and or myself. We are always retweeting each other, or both of us,
Yeah.
and you can win some art.
Yeah.
This is progress on a page.
Nice.
It's a splash out of it.
Yeah, this is beautiful. By the way, that zippy tone you put on Bass Reeves was beautiful, Chad. I love that.
Yeah,
Thank
when you
you.
started shading it, I was like, crikey.
Yeah, I need to do that to this page. One thing I was going to mention though is like I don't know how many students I've talked to about breaking into animation and video games, and only one ever took my advice and succeeded and got into is in the Jim Henson company now.
Ooh.
Doing sculptures, and she's awesome. But most of the time, I tell people, they're like, "Well, how do you break in? How do you get jobs in animation or video games?" Well, you just apply for it like any other job. You don't. It's not like you throw your stuff on Twitter and everybody's like, "Oh, we're gonna hire you right away." Like you
What
sometimes
you
you get.
said what you said earlier, Chad, was like my biggest thing that I thought was the silliest thing for the longest time, which was getting to know people. Is like networking. I
Yep.
I didn't even know about the buying into the incentive covers until I met a guy and who introduced me to the guy
Yep.
who got me down with the incentive covers, who at a future date after a few incentive covers ended up calling me after a while. So it really is like about who you know and being in front of them as much as you can.
That's part of it. Yeah.
So it looked like Jonathan Panetta wants to challenge me drawing a Hellboy in my style compared to his, and he says his will blow me out of the water. So, do you have a Instagram, Jonathan, that we can look up and
Let's
see
check
your
it
art?
out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please drop your
let's
Instagram in
see.
the chat.
Yeah, let's see how good you really are.
But can you do it in 2 hours?
No, even why? Whatever.
No, I'm saying, yeah. Can brother Jonathan?
Yeah,
Jonathan,
I'm not gonna. I'm not. If he can blow me out of the water, then I wanna see it. So you
Yeah.
know, you I'm a really tough customer, man. I don't see why you would want to try to like challenge me. Let's see, art. Let's
It's like
look you up.
is this like the knife fight in the Michael Jackson Beat It video? They tie each other's hands together.
Art director pick the Anchor newspaper, Jonathan Panetta. Yeah, I mean, I see some art on here that's under the name Jonathan Panetta, but most of it's just swiping like other people's stuff.
Actually, by the way, Craig, this is a noble thing to say. I want to challenge you because it's how he will get better. I mean, that's a decent motive.
Well, saying that you'll kick my ass is hardly like the way to get there.
That's just asking for it. Yeah.
So
I'm too old, and I just that doesn't.
Here, let's see if we can impress Jonathan. Let's see. See what I can find.
I got nothing to prove anymore.
Let's see.
Awesome one just joined, and he said, "Amazing, good to have you again, buddy." There's another gentleman that our good friend Phil Diaz brought into the chat when he came on our show, and he's stuck around. Thank you, buddy.
Phil.
I like to paint in my spare time, Jonathan. Like that's my real fun stuff to do. So I did this in a few hours one day.
Jonathan's trying to get deleted so he doesn't have to pay that child support.
So I just did this for fun. Like,
oh my lord.
Let's
You
have a
know,
look-see.
and this is the kind of stuff that I can do. Like, this was done in gouache on watercolor paper. I did it relatively quickly. Some of the colors are blown out on my thing right here, but like, I'm an accomplished artist. Like, challenging me
That
doesn't
looks so awesome.
really like serve you, man. Like, also an accomplished sculptor. Like, I can sculpt realism. I can sculpt fucking portraits of people, like
Yeah, but
actors and shit like that.
okay, wait. I never said I'd kick your ass. I'll blow you out of the water. That's a euphemism for kicking one's ass,
That's
Jonathan. I'm sorry to tell
that
you.
yeah. Yeah, unfortunately that's a euphemism. Yes. So, and I'm literal, so when you say shit to me, I literally take it as like, oh, really? Somebody's going to challenge me? Like, I did a painting the other day for fun. It took me an hour, and it is an exact replica, practically, of an Ashley Wood painting.
Oh,
Like,
so cool.
like, just for fun. And I posted it in the Ashley Wood forum, and literally 106 people said to me, Jesus fucking Christ.
I thought it was Ashley Wood when I saw it.
So what I suggest is this, Jonathan. Keep coming to our little show.
What up, Phil?
Draw along with us as we're drawing. Keep posting stuff, and at some point, you know, maybe we'll have you on our show, and you can go head to head with me.
We'll make an event out of it.
Yeah, we'll make a big event out of it. So
Phil finally stopped talking about Gambit and showed up.
What's my Insta? It's Crager Jason is my Instagram. So just look that up. Crager Jason.
He's talking about Gambit in the chat again.
It's both of them, Phil. Both of them are on the show. I mean, you missed quite a bit. You should rewind, homeboy.
Worst character Jim Lee ever created.
Let's see.
What is?
I guess Jim Lee create that? You're right. You're right, didn't he? He was there.
He did. He was in the room when it happened.
Yeah, what does it have to do with New Orleans? His outfit and his stick. Okay.
And by the way,
let's put a few little highlights in here just to make them little rascals just sparkle in the sun.
Watch them glisten.
By the way, Jonathan, if you do actually challenge him, we will make a show of it. Would you agree, Crager? We'll make a show of it.
Yeah, but I want him to hang out for a little while and go to shows and participate.
Like we want to make sure you're not just a troll, dude. Like hang out. Like if you hang out for a couple of shows and we know you're not full of crap, then yeah, let's do it.
Yep.
Because I know you need the money for child support, but we don't got super chats yet, homeboy. You're not going to be getting money for child support yet. We don't get money for child support.
You got 9 months to save up
money for child support.
I need to pay child support, so it comes me first and then you.
And thank God my children are all old enough that I don't have to do that stuff anymore. So that's good.
Who's an evil Bob Ross? Where's that? Oh no, that was from
right here. Here's my evil Bob Ross.
Anything we don't like,
see,
we'll turn it into a happy little tree or something.
Fucking Phil has brought his
we don't make mistakes.
Gambit talk with him.
We just have happy accidents.
In your pants.
Now then, let's watch the old brush. That's the fun part of this whole technique. Okay, shake off the excess.
Yeah.
Just make the devil out of it.
It's a little Bob Ross doll I have. That's like a little bobblehead Bob Ross.
See, Ben Yoko, but you're so kind, my friend. He's like, not only did he sub to our show, but he adds you on Instagram, and he's like, "You got some good art, buddy. Thank you." And like I said, I hope to see you every Monday. And I hope you'll be suggesting in that thread. Maybe you'll win some art, Benyo.
Yeah, I hate to come off like arrogant and shit like that, but
but you just
I don't like getting called out, dude. Like, it fucking irritates me. My friends know it too. Like they don't fuck with me, so they know what kind of beast I could be if I want.
Oh yeah, there's certain subjects I can't debate Crager on because he starts to get all pissed off, and I'm like, okay, he might just like drive up here and kick my ass, so I better like change the subject.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Even though I have like I have kind of like an edgelordly nature, I do love Crager, and I don't want him to be upset, so I'll deviate. But if he was someone else, I'd be poking him, you know.
Yeah, he likes poking the bear. So yo soy un oso.
Oh, that's some fighting words. Better bring your game when I'm on the show. My energy will make you scared.
Wait, energy will be what? Well,
It'll make you scared.
Okay, buddy. I challenge you to a pop locking contest. Pop locking contest. Just a pop.
And by the way, I'm sorry, Marco. I'm not a terrible host here, but of these guys are presenting, so I can't really like move the format very well or the orientation because Chad is presenting, Crager's presenting, and it only lets me do it one way.
That's right. So you guys don't get to look at both of us.
I'm presenting a lot here tonight.
That's
yeah.
Right.
Preferably, well, I think, well, I'm not going to say something rude. Forget it. I was going to make a sexual joke about presenting between, Jonathan Pineda and J.Crager, but we'll see who wins that fight. That kind of prison dominance, shower grape scene that might happen.
Shawshank Redemption.
Nice.
I want to see what Matt Weldon's doing. Let's look at his tank girl. Look at that. Seth, are you watching?
Yeah, it came up really good.
What do you think, Seth? Because he's the one who suggested Tank Girl. And Maroni says, I was already thinking that, Will. The prison grapes sequence. And he's asking, how long have you been drawing, Mr. Crager?
Professionally, since I was 18, so that's 32 years. And then, as I came out of my mother's vagina, I brought a pencil with me. So, like, my entire life. I wasn't trained by anybody. This is all self-taught. I really like to dive into other people's style of things. So I'm able to, like, look at other people's styles and figure out how they do it and then do it myself. I can do it so well that I can forge stuff.
Yeah, you take what you like or what, and then you just scatter the rest of the carcass or whatever.
Yep, exactly. So, and that's the kind of person I am. So I've been doing this my whole life. My entire life surrounds around doing art.
By the way, Chad, is this for the Spear of Destiny Black Phantom story?
Yeah, I'm calling it Holy Terror now. I don't care if there's any other books named Holy Terror.
Well, I mean, I think the controversy around that one is past now.
Yeah.
What we're talking about is the Frank Miller book, Holy Terror.
I was going to call it Spear of Destiny, but I thought that's just a little too on the nose, and Holy Terror sounds way cooler.
That's true.
And by the way, you guys can still get Black Phantom. I think it's still funding on Kickstarter. Is that right, Chad?
It's closed, and I'm shipping books out tomorrow. The next day.
Nice.
I spent the day, bagging and boarding, signing, and
feast your eyes on this.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is the book that you could have gotten, and you probably will get a catch up, hopefully.
Dang.
If you for the Spear of Destiny campaign.
Some of my most prized.
I have a copy as well.
The second printing is gonna have a Matt Weldon cover at some
point. Yeah. Is it gonna be a green foil cover?
It can be.
I think it should be.
I briefly took it out of the wrapper one time and went right back in after I was done reading it.
It looks way better in person, actually, than on camera.
Oh, yeah. Plus, you get the really cool acrylic standee.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's one of my favorites.
And can you do me a favor, Matt? Could you show everybody that meathead piece you did again? Because I want to make a little announcement about that. I could? Everybody in the audience?
Right. Grab it.
So, Everybody, this is Matt Weldon's contribution to Meathead, mine and Jason Crager's book. This is his piece. There you go. Phil, check that out. I can hear Phil, being very comfortable in the chat, looking at something as beautiful as that. So what we decided to do, guys, is that we are going to probably do an Ashcan, direct Ashcan of the first issue of Meathead. We're going to take the first 12 pages and we're going to design a new cover for it. And we're going to print up about, I don't know, what do you think, Craig? Maybe 50 to 100 of them?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Make it limited.
And then we're gonna sell them direct. You guys hit me up once we do that, and you guys can get a preview of the art that is going to be in this book. So you can not only have a little collectible.
I think if they're part of the stream and stuff like that and announcing it, we should make it special for them. So they should be the first people to get it, and then it goes out from there.
Right. And not just that, we're planning on, we're going to open the mailing list soon. We're waiting for Shelby Robinson to turn in a commission piece that we're going to offer as a sign-up bonus, which is a little poster. That'll be of Shelby's cover, which is the facsimile cover of Prophet number 5 by Rob Liefeld. It's the Vietnam cover, if you guys remember it. But with my characters, with our characters, the Meathead characters.
Yes, it should be cool.
So this is we're excited. We're getting close, guys. Like I said, we're gonna about drop that mailing list. So we've been talking about this for so long. You guys can finally start really seeing something tangible from it, or as somebody would say, "Fuck tangible. Give me something real."
Yeah, you can get the first looks and the first views and everything. So, yeah. So, hey guys, it's getting late. It's what time? 10 p.m. So officially, we've gone longer than I would typically go.
By the way, Weldon, can he get that to flip for his child support? Jonathan wants to know.
Yeah. Are you talking about the Meathead piece?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's.
And Gordon, there's your Bass Reeves. Your Bass Reeves. I keep saying bass, but your Bass Reeves. And this sounds like a kind of a cool idea, Crager. Seth and Tokame suggest make number 1 gold, signed, and release the 300 sub mark. That's actually, I wouldn't mind doing something like that for everybody.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
For people on our show to either give away or sell off. I don't know. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean that would be cool.
Like something like a one. And I just got a text from. By the way, I just got a text from Rob Willis, who's inking his Meathead, the alternate that's going to be actually a variant cover for the first book of Meathead. And what do you think of it so far, Crager? Rob Willis's Meathead.
It's really good. So it's almost jealous good. Like you know how when somebody does something and you're like, "Fuck, I should have fucking drawn that." It's literally like there. So it's like, God damn it, you fucker. Now I have to draw something really cool.
And he's going to be on the show, Rob Willis, to unveil the full cover. You're probably going to see it on his Instagram, little pieces of it. You've already seen it,
right.
Little pieces of it on his Instagram and Twitter. But we're going to have him on. He's going to show off his own cover, and that's going to be the main variant on the campaign is Rob Willis's cover.
That's
so as you see, guys, it's all kind of
unveil it on the show, and that's
that's why I wanted Matt Weldon to show off his own cover.
Well, you make sure to sign up, Jonathan. So we'll see you around, and if you hang out long
everybody
enough,
does want this to happen. I hope you're as good as
yeah. I mean, I hope you're as good as you think you are.
Yeah, because I want to see this blood. It'd be a fun event. We'll do it for like right up to Fragtober, right? We'll have like a, when you watch those WWF pay-per-views, they had like shitty matches before the big one you want to see. This will be like the shitty match before the Fragtober.
Shit, man. I already got another follower on Instagram. Like, okay, Benko. So, hey, guys, we're going to wrap this up. My wife's going to get home from work anytime now, and I'm sure she doesn't want to hear me talking about comic book bullshit. So, I I had a great time tonight. You all need to
Yeah,
be
me too.
nice to each other. You all need to be kind. I won't forget your little challenge, Jonathan. So, in fact, I'll write your little name right up here and stare at it just so, I can manifest it at some point when you do want to pop up your head, and I'll drag you on the show and trounce you in front of all these people. I'm going to pull down your pants and fucking spank you in front of my fucking chat. So,
Bitches.
anyways, yeah. Yeah, bitches. So, I appreciate y'all coming out.
He'll,
We love
like
you that
Mike
much.
Tyson said, he'll fuck you until you love him.
Exactly. So, hey, man, we'll make this all happen. Just subscribe, come out to the chat, be nice, be courteous. Don't make us ban or
Good night.
block you. And everybody have a great night. And as always, we're going to leave with some peaches, guys. So we always leave with some peaches. So
Nice.
talk to you later. See y'all later. Be kind.
Vaya con Dios.
Good night, guys.